Shalom, everyone. We're going to go into the book of Jubilees a little later. But before I go into the book of Jubilees and other records, we're going to do a class on creation today. So everyone will understand how the world was created, how it was created, who created it. And we can put Darwin's theory to rest. Okay. I want to praise the Most High in the name of Yeshua so that we could have a class exalting his Sabbath. We don't deal with science. We don't deal with philosophy. We don't deal with any wisdom or educational wisdom of this world. Because this world is being controlled by the prince of darkness. His name is Satan. So I want to attack two things today. I want to go into what really happened during creation and give the true understanding of the Sabbath. Now, we're going into the Sabbath because we're living in a time today in which the people of this earth don't understand the Sabbath. They don't know when the Sabbath starts. What is the Sabbath according to the Most High? And in a matter of fact, you have a fervent spirit attacking or trying to tell people that the Sabbath is done away with altogether. The same people that are claiming that the Sabbath is done away with are worshiping every Sunday. Okay? So the Sabbath is done away with, and the Sunday worship is now the new Sabbath. When really, Sunday worship should be done away with. So we're going to go into that. The importance of the Sabbath, what the Most High feels about the Sabbath. Now, of course, you have people out there dealing with the Sabbath like the Jewish people today. Every Saturday they meet in their synagogues and read from not only the Torah, but they read a little bit from the Kabbalah and yeah, and they do a little Talmud work there, and they have turned the Most High Sabbath day into something satanic. So the people that are reverencing the Sabbath are doing it under Satan, and the people that totally disrespect and disannul the Sabbath altogether worship on Sunday. What is the significance of this? Is this contained in the Bible? We're going to go through that too. One other thing I wanted to go over with this Sabbath is that when you write down these scriptures one by one, all the scriptures, there's no way possible you could think after today that the Sabbath of the Lord is done away with. We're going to use every scripture one by one. You write them down. We're going to go from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and you'll know that the Sabbath stands. What is the Sabbath? What we must do on the Sabbath, Old and New Testament. All right? So we'll handle that, see how we can go through that, and hopefully if the Most High permit, we'll have enough time to handle creation real quick, to go into creation. But that also intertwines within the Sabbath, and I'm going to show you. Before we go into the Sabbath, Go to Colossians 2 and 8. Read.
Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
The Most High says, beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Spoil is to destroy or make of no value. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. That means you go to a man to get understanding. Instead of receiving understanding out of the Bible, you get his or her philosophy, or philosophize why they do particular things. With the Bible, if you follow the Bible according to the Bible, if you follow the Bible according to the letter as far as the content goes, it's no way possible you can inject the idea of man. So if you go to someone about the Sabbath or any other day or any other topic, and they start talking and can't explain it out of the Bible, that's philosophizing. That's philosophy. And the Bible tells us to beware. You might go to a Christian and ask a Christian in particular, okay, where does it say in the Bible to worship the Sabbath? Or not to worship the Sabbath, or the Sabbath is done away with, or Sunday worship is the Sabbath? They will not be able to show you. They'll start talking, philosophizing, explaining. Well, Christ rose on us, but Christ didn't rise and say, now Sunday is the day of worship. I need you disciples to proclaim this to the earth, that no longer do we follow the Lord's Sabbath. Today that I rose is the Sabbath. It's Sunday. Right? Christ did not proclaim that. Alright? So if anyone start talking to you and start, flip-flopping around without going into the scripture, you know that you're dealing with a philosopher. And they might get upset if you ask him a simple question like, can you please show me that out of the Bible? Even though they shouldn't get upset with that. But if you're going to ask me to do something according to the Most High, I should be able to read it out of the book, so that in your absence, I'll know exactly how to follow it. I don't know how to follow Sunday worship because I never seen Sunday worship. I've never seen it. I've seen the scriptures in which Paul told the brothers to get together on the first day of the week to collect the money in Corinthians. They was collecting money because you couldn't do it on the Sabbath. Sabbath was the day of rest and the reverence of our power or our God. So they did it on the first day of the week so that they couldn't profane or disrespect the day of worship. Okay? So they take you through all these scriptures that says first day, first day, first day, but none of them scriptures say that it's the Sabbath. It should say first day. So, is it evil to worship on any other day? Yes, it is, if you are excluding the Sabbath. Yes, it is, and I'm going to prove these things. Read that again.
Colossians chapter 2 verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men.
After the what?
After the tradition of men.
People follow Sunday worship strictly based on Roman tradition that was passed down. That was passed down from generation to generation. Tradition is separate from doctrine. Tradition is you're used to doing something. It's a custom. But it's not a righteous custom. It's an unrighteous custom. It's a Gentile custom. So the Lord told us to beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit after the rudiments of this world. Read.
After the tradition of men.
And the traditions of men. So some people might get upset with you because you don't want to follow Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter or whatever the holidays they have here. Halloween or whatever, which are traditions. Sunday worship, which are traditions. And they'll tell you, well, it's for the children. Let's do it for the children. But no, it's not for the children. It's something that you've established within yourself that you grew up doing that made you feel good because your parents gave it to you. And no one out here is willing to break the chain. Read.
After the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
And not after Christ. You can't put Christ in a way of a lie or use Christ as an excuse to go against the Father. Christ did not tell you to deal with your traditions. The pagans did. The pagans did. And if we speak specifically to the children of slaves, where did you get Sunday worship from? You lost everything. So where do you think you got Sunday worship from? Your captivity. So that you could feel accepted with the masters. The masters were pagan. The master had the Sunday worship. The master had the trees all up in his plantation. Had you decking the trees. The master gave you Sunday off and holidays off so that you can partake in his paganism. Now let's go into the Sabbath. One thing about the truth cannot be argued. The truth cannot be disputed. In order for Satan to get his claws into men and women in this earth, he had to first move us away from the law, statutes, and commandments of the Father. He have to slither his way in and slowly but surely move you away from the Father. Then he gets souls. That's how it works. So if you're not following this law, statutes, and commandments, or profane the Sabbath purposely,